Hello, everyone. I want to start by just thanking you, everyone who watched my last video, and everyone who subscribed, and everyone who commented. I really appreciate you all, and I had so much fun with our conversations that we had in those comments and everything. So thank you for sharing your energy with me. Thank you for opening up to me about your questions and your experiences. It just left me feeling so warm. I felt this true sense of community when that video kind of took off. I've never had a video take off as much as that one did. So it was just a really exciting, fun day. So I thank you guys for that. Since I have some new subscribers, I just want to briefly introduce myself to you, and then we'll get into the reading. But my name is Morgan Migliarese. I have been a full-time tarot reader for the last 7 years. My main platform has been Instagram. I've posted on YouTube on and off throughout that time, but now I'm just feeling more drawn to posting videos like this because, I don't know, it's like getting back to basics, just sharing the messages of the spirits instead of worrying about the Instagram algorithm and all that crap. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like this is where I should be moving right now. So again, I thank you for your support. Aside from that, I'm an author. I have a book published with Hay House. It's called 365 Days of Divine Feminine Wisdom. Actually, I have a copy. So yeah, this is my first book. It came out in 2023. It says daily guidance for the goddess within, but really it's just a devotional for anyone who wants to honor their own energy. I take you through the year with the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, but really the Maiden, Mother, and Crone are what? It's just kind of youthful, new beginning energy. It's creative, expansive, nurturing energy, and it's banishing, releasing, wise energy, so that's really all that it is. But it's a daily devotional, so if you want to check that out, like to you, it's a daily devotional to you. So if you want to check that out, I've got the links in my description and in my bio and everything. I also wrote this book. It's called Dance with Dusk. It's a poetry book, but it's about the human experience and connecting with the spirits and the supernatural. Because that's what I do, and that's my favorite thing, and I can't imagine life without the spirits that I've connected with, the deities that I work with, the forces that I work with. I can't imagine life without them, so that's what I've dedicated myself to. I do offer personal readings. I also make, here's one. I didn't put a lot of planning into this, just because I want to just be chill and be hanging out with you guys, but I do make ritual oils. This one's my Hecate oil. This one has an abundance of glitter because it was the first one that I made for myself. If you ordered one, it would not have this much glitter. But, yes, I have Hecate oil. I know I pronounce her name incorrectly. It's Hecate, but when I'm talking casually, I just call her Hecate. But anyway, I have a fast money one. I have a Venus oil, that boosts your creativity, attracts love, amplifies your sexual life, all that. I also have an uncrossing oil that helps you remove blockages. I have a bunch of oils on there. I have a bunch of readings that I offer. I'm on Patreon. I'm on Substack. Just a general, if you want to know who I am, if you want to know more about what I do. That being said, I feel like there were so many questions that came up from the last reading. How to connect with spirits, how to know which deity or which spirit may be calling you, how to know if it's a dark or a light spirit. Honestly, I kind of take the stance that like all the spirits are of the darkness. And this is kind of a concept that I talk about in Dance with Dusk a little bit, not quite like that, but it's more poetic. But in what I believe and what I've discovered from working with spirits and working with deities and everything is that everything comes from the darkness, because the darkness is the house of wisdom and the womb of creation. and everything comes from the darkness, okay? But then it kind of branches out into our human language so that it's a little bit easier for us to understand. And that's where we get this like light versus dark beings. Now, darkness is different from evil. You know, that's what we were talking about in the last video too. Darkness is not the same as evil. Evil is something else. The way that I worded it on Instagram recently was, you can work with a triple goddess in her mother form. That's her full moon form. That's her light form, right? Maybe more associated with the sun as well, warmth, daytime. But if you work with that same triple goddess in her crone aspect, you're working with her dark form, you know, and so her mother form would be more about attracting or expansion, growth, maintaining. The dark form would be more about releasing, letting go, doing shadow work, you know, that kind of thing. So that's kind of a way to look at light and dark beings. And then if you want to take it a step further than that, just off the top of my head, Apollo would be considered a god of the light, right? Whereas Dionysus would be considered a god of the dark. You know what I mean? So it kind of depends on the attributes of the deity or of the spirit. But light and dark are just two sides of the same coin. And one is not better than the other. I personally feel that we need both to stay balanced. So I work with both dark and light deities and spirits because that's how I stay balanced. So just let me know if you have any other questions about that, and I'm sure we'll just talk about it more, you know, throughout each video as it comes up, as it's needed. But anyway, so today I'm feeling a heaviness in the collective, but not like a draining, maybe draining a little bit, but more so just like tired, like this fatigued energy. So I just want to tap in with the forces and see like what is going on in the collective and what we're transmuting. It feels like we're transmuting something at this time. So I just want to tap into that. And then some spirits that I have been feeling around, feeling like they have a collective message lately. I've been feeling Lilith again. Lilith comes to me a lot in the springtime, honestly. I don't know why. We tend to connect around April or May every year. So I'm feeling Lilith. I'm also feeling Santa Marta. Who else am I feeling? Those are the two that I've been feeling a lot, aside from Hecate and, you know, the other deities that I work with, but we'll see if anyone else comes through while I'm doing this. But yeah, we just want to tap into the energy, please, spirits. I want to know where this fatigue and where this draining energy is coming from and what's being transmuted. All right. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles here. You are trying to get your world in order, okay? That's what I'm seeing with this. Like, some of you could be having financial issues right now, or finances, debts could be weighing heavily on you. Some of you might be feeling overworked, overwhelmed. Some of you might feel underappreciated. Some of you might feel like it's just like you're working and grinding away, like you're working so hard, but there's a butterfly up here, but you're not seeing like the progress and the change that you've been looking for or that you've been trying to create. And it's like you feel that we also have this bunny down here. You feel this like rebirth energy coming. You feel this shift brewing. But look at the way this crow is like looking the other way. You're not seeing it yet. Okay? And then we have like, this up here reminds me of the world. I don't know what it's really supposed to be. But I feel like it's, for us in this reading, I feel like it's about what you see in your mind. Like what you're visualizing. You've got this vision, but it's just not completely rooted in your reality yet, okay? A lot of you have been through some very hard times when it comes to money, when it comes to health. You could have been taken to court over debts. You could owe a large amount of money. And it's just like, it's weighing you down. It's always over your head. And it's just really stressing you out because you feel like you can't move on in your life. You can't move forward until this thing is no longer hanging over you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we've got the Two of Swords, but you can't seem to figure out, like, what needs to be done because you feel like you've tried a lot of different things to get this going. We do have the Eight of Wands coming through as well. So, I mean, this is giving me the feeling of, like, you just have to go within and continue trusting what you've already put into action. Okay, so you've already been taking some steps to fix your financial situation, or if this is related to your health or something else in your material world, perhaps a home situation, a living situation, maybe you're trying to move, or maybe a job, maybe you're trying to change jobs or manifest a new career path, you know, anything related to your material world, right? Or your health. And you've been working towards this for a long time. You've been trying lots of different things. And it's hard for you to believe that things are actually changing because you're not seeing a lot of progress in the physical. So this is one of those times where you have to override those fears that are coming through and just keep doing what you're doing. Because I think something that I'm hearing that happens for you is that you work so hard in one direction and then you feel like you're not seeing the progress. So then you like halt completely and you stop everything that you've been doing. And then you try a different approach and that's not working either, or you're not seeing the progress as quickly as you would like. And then you stop and then you know, so I feel like what they're saying is, no, you've made a plan. You need to stick to the plan that you've made. And then you need to just really adjust your internal energy and trust that there's going to be movement here soon for you, okay? Actually, let's do some of the oracle cards. Yeah, we have resistance. We have scavenge. And we have influence. Okay. So there are, sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't in the shot. So there are, okay, there's people around you, or if it's not people around you, it could be from earlier in your life, different periods in your life, perhaps stemming as far back as childhood. But there are people who have been a negative influence on you in terms of your money, your finances, your work, your purpose, your health. Some of you actually, this could be a sign to cut back on substance use or drinking or something like that, or something that you know is not good for you, even if it's not, okay, even if it's not a substance, if it's a person, if it's an energy, if it's a mindset, if it's an environment, a habit, you know, anything that does not feel to you like you should keep doing it, that is what is kind of contributing to your financial block, or whatever this block is that you feel like it's not manifesting the way you want it to. You need to pay close attention to your environment and the things that you're doing and what your inner voice is telling you. If your inner voice is telling you a person, a place, a thing, a habit, a practice, whatever is not for you, you need to listen to that. Now, there's been times in my life where people that I've known have been blocking me from making more money just from the energy that they are sending out. But it's not so much that, you know, no one can take what is meant for you, but they can absolutely delay the energy or drain your energy so that you are not manifesting at your best. Or even if it's not manifesting or working magic, you know, it could drain you so that you're not taking the physical action steps that you need to take in your reality. You know what I mean? So you need to pay attention to who or what is draining you, whether it's food, substance, a person, an energy, you know, whatever it is. You need to find out you already know is what I'm hearing. You need to be honest with yourself about what you feel is draining you and what is not right for you, and you need to get it up on out of there, okay? Now, there's some resistance coming through here. For some of you, there could be resistance to actually being successful. Okay, some of you have this fear of being successful. Some of you don't want to outshine your parents. Some of you don't want to outshine your siblings. Some of you don't want to outshine your peers, your friends, whatever, your family. Some of you are afraid of success. Some of you are afraid of having this problem, this block removed. Why? Because the ego tries to protect us, okay? And so when we are faced with the opportunity for a new environment, a new existence, a new way of living and being, the ego's first thing that pops up is a fear of the unknown, okay? And that is when we may self-sabotage in some way, and that could be what this influence is about as well. Perhaps you are self-sabotaging, or allowing other people or other things, other energies to sway you from your path because your ego is kind of afraid of the unknown. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you, okay? Don't put the blame on yourself. The new is scary. It's intimidating because we don't know what to expect from the new, right? So but what you need to do is kind of ease the energy there. Okay, find a way to soothe yourself so that you are more welcoming of the new and less afraid of it. Okay, and this is something that you can work with your spirits with. Okay, you can ask your spirit guides to transmute the energy with you. I would do this with some candle magic. I would get candle colors kind of representing what you're doing, or maybe even just black and white. I would kind of tie them together as if I was doing a cord cutting. And then I would ask the spirits that I'm working with to help me transmute the unwanted energy into wanted energy. So, I mean, you're going to want to get specific on what you're manifesting. If I was trying to banish a financial block, for example, I would make the black candle the block, and I would make the white candle the new energy that I'm calling in. And I would probably carve on there like financial block on the black, and then I would carve on the other one, prosperity and abundance, right? And then tie them together, let them burn all the way down. I would probably put some of my fast money oil or my uncrossing oil or something like that on there too, just to assist with it. And then I would call on my deities. I would make them offerings, and I would want, that's how I would work it. You know what I mean? So if we're talking about like the last reading that came through that was talking about a being that wants to help you, this could be something that they want to help you overcome. This block that makes you feel like you're grinding away, like you're a rat on a wheel and you're not getting anywhere, or a hamster on a wheel and not getting anywhere. They want to help you feel more fulfilled and less like what I'm feeling with this scavenge card is like a fight or flight mode. You know, like you feel like you are, like you never really get a break, like you never are really allowed to relax, like you have to constantly be going, doing, whether you're taking care of other people, or, maybe you're responsible for you have children, or you have family members that you care for, you have people that you have to show up for all the time, as well as yourself, but then you end up like not getting to rest as deeply as you could or should. You're not getting to take care of yourself because there's just so much piling up on your plate all the time that you constantly have to be dealing with. So I feel like this spirit that we were kind of picking up on for you in the last reading, that spirit wants to help you overcome this block, this energy of resistance to the new, this energy of resistance to things getting easier. And like I was saying a minute ago, it's not your fault. It's normal because we get used to what's familiar and what's comfortable, air quotes, even though we know that it's not comfortable. And maybe that's the influence that you need to get rid of as well. Maybe you need to get rid of that influence, that thinking that, where you are is comfortable. Even if it's not a conscious thought, it's probably a subconscious or unconscious thought, where you're kind of comfortable where you're at least where you're at, even though you're struggling and you're grinding away every day, you are still in control. You know what I mean? Because you know what to expect every day. You know what the energy is going to be like. You know what you have to get done every week, and so you get used to that. And so the thought of things being easier suddenly, it's almost overwhelming when you're so used to operating in that fight or flight mode. It's kind of overwhelming to think about not having to stress about the bills, or not having to stress about money, or not having to stress about, your health or whatever else that you're stressed about every week. It's almost like shocking to the system to think about being able to relax, So I think that that's kind of what you're dealing with here. And this is what your spirits want to work on with you. They want to help you, figure out how to transmute this energy, how to shift it, how to get more comfortable with the idea of the changes that you've been praying for actually manifesting. Okay, so it's going to take some work. It's definitely something that we can continue looking into here. It's definitely something that you can continue looking into on your own. But there is movement coming for you. There are new opportunities. There are options. There are things that are going to be coming to you soon over the spring. I know the other day we saw Taurus through Cancer season coming through. I feel like with these sunflowers, it's making me think of like August, September as well. So over the next few months, there's going to be different opportunities or different shifts too, I'm hearing. Different things that your deities, your guides, that they illuminate to you. That are going to be just helping you shift the energy and either stay on the path that you're on or find the approaches that truly work. A lot of you, I keep hearing over and over that you're meant to keep doing what you're doing. So if you've started taking some action recently, you're on the right path. And it's just a matter of continuing to trust that things will really shift and sticking with it, and then overcoming this resistance and this fear, finding ways to release this like kind of fight or flight mode that you've been in, finding ways to truly relax and honor yourself, and remove any influences that are holding you back, whether it's something you're doing, something someone else is doing, something that came from the past. So focus on doing that kind of work, connecting with your guides, pinpointing those inner blocks, whether they're mindsets, memories, habits, whether it's that you need to cut some people or things out of your life. That's what you need to work on. And then you need to trust that your guides are going to come through with the other, whether it's wisdom, messages, information, opportunities. Your guides are going to bring you the other things that will help you overcome this block if you do the inner work too. This is co-creation. So as you do, they will do. As above, so below, right? So as you do the work that you need to do, your guides will support you more and move you along. That's why we say, when you do the inner work, you are rewarded. It's not necessarily that you're being rewarded. It's that your guides are saying, oh, okay, I see your shadow work and I raise you one new job. That's kind of what they're doing. Oh, I see that you've done the work here, that you're overcoming something. Well, here's a blessing for you. We're co-creating. That's what it is. Okay. So I hope that this helped. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you again soon.